A dinner invitation.
And with whom are you dining this evening?
Maxwell Roth.
The leader of the Blighters? You're not going?
Of course not. I'm here to see Mr. Roth.
Weapons?
No, thank you. I've got my own.
You should be on the stage, sir. This way.
Ah! Our honored guest has arrived. Come, sit. I've had my eye on you for some time. I find your heroics in battling the great Crawford Starrick quite magnificent.
I've been picking off your soldiers one by one. Doesn't that make you angry?
On the contrary, surprise is a spice of life. Now, Mr. Starrick, that's a different story. I'm drowning in directives, all terribly boring. Let's say we work together and bring him down.
I'm not so sure about that.
My friend, if I fail to provide you with the chance to cause Starrick some pain, well, you can charge into this theater and kill me yourself.
What do you get out of all this?
The chance to have a little fun with the bravest man in London.
You have a deal.
Lewis! My carriage. Shall we? Driver, to St. Pancras. And don't spare the horses.
I thought you and Starrick would be fighting for the same ends. What happened?
Ah, you know, he required my services to train his gang leaders. For the man is dreadful.
You don't say.
Freedom, Jacob. Stealing that is far more than a sin. It denies us our humanity.
Right you are. And St. Pancras will ease our suffering?
The station contains a large shipment of explosives to be dispatched to Starrick and Co.
And you intend to steal it?
What? No. I intend to blow it up. Yes, this will do nicely. There's a train parked inside St. Pancras.
Then I'm to do away with Starrick's merchandise, leaving chaos in my wake?
Why not, Jacob? Why not? As we speak, the up train is headed towards us. That may help you enter the station unseen.
As long as it remains on the tracks.
I'd say good luck, but you don't need it. I shall make certain any reinforcements from Starrick are kept away from the station.
Would you be so kind as to get up some steam?
Splendid! Starrick will be on his knees in no time. My hat is off to you. Apologies, I must run. Do come see me again. Jacob. He is beautiful, isn't he? I planned a perfect second outing for us.
Have you?
There's borrowing to be done. 3 of Starrick's henchmen are about to disappear.
Oh, you sly devil.
Oh, and I'm coming along this time. There is no sense in giving you all the glory. Off to my carriage we go. Lewis! These cowardly fools under Starrick have built their own prisons. It's a dreadful waste.
They could be building gangs instead.
No, no. Why build when you can ebb and flow like the sea? I would not deign to pin them down.
Oh, you wouldn't, would you? What about your bird?
It's not building anything. It just is, my dear. I dare say I shall never tire of the National Gallery.
Why does Starrick interest himself with art?
He's hired a fiendishly talented woman, one Hattie Cadwallader, to procure works for him. She has excellent taste.
We're kidnapping her for the sin of being Starrick's collector.
Oh, my dear, no. We are kidnapping her, not because she loves art, but because she finances Starrick's enterprises by selling it. One must never mix art and money.
Wait for me with the carriage. I'll pay her a visit.
Splendid. Be careful, my dear. When a deal falls through, Miss Cadwallader tends to poison future sales.
I'm looking for Miss Hattie Cadwallader.
Ain't seen her. I knows what she's been up to, though.
And what's that?
Friggin' art, sir. She pinched a statue not far from here.
Hey, Smalley. Know anything about what happened here?
I saw he pinched it, sir.
Miss Cadwallader?
She hides down the sewers, sir.
Of course it's sewers.
Tell Mr. Starrick his next delivery's on its way. And tell him, too, that I'm growing tired of these working conditions.
Wasn't Starrick who sent me.
Then who?
I don't require a reason to end your life.
Maxwell Roth sends his regards. Why the Alhambra?
Every good criminal needs a place to invest his ill-gotten gains. And what's better than distracting the world with a little light entertainment while you do so?
Oh, come now. You can't tell me you don't enjoy the triumph of a well-received play. The plaudits and praise, the reviews.
I enjoy being entertained, Jacob. If one of the productions pleases me, I am over the moon. The theater is in my blood. As you so astutely discerned, theatricality is something of a Roth speciality. Ah, the park. The dwelling place of Starrick's head of security, one Benjamin Raffles. Those who cross him tend to disappear without warning.
Sounds like we'll be fast friends.
Be careful. His guards are never far away. My most fragrant Raffles. How very good to see you again.
Gadwell, Roth.
It's into the back with you, then.
Who is this Lewis that works for you?
A bit of an odd fish, isn't he? Came to me a few years past.
He's very solemn.
But always so polite. And he has many other talents.
Who am I looking for?
Chester Swineborn. A copper by day and snitch by night. Remove him from the pack, and you cut Starrick's ties to the police force.
Must be good at what he does to keep the charade going for so long.
He is indeed, dear boy. Excellent work. Do come find me at the Alhambra. I have more amusements planned for us. Ah! This way, my dear. I've something to show you. One of Starrick's workshops, where they build weapons for his army. When the world is full of nasty things, we must tear those things apart. A man like Starrick builds a world around his own desires. And so we lose the ability to dream for ourselves. Therefore, we must
Strike.
Precisely. No matter the cost. Every second of hesitation allows Starrick time to build.
What a funk in you.
You must see the potential, dear Jacob. This workshop is one of Starrick's. Set the dynamite, and let's blow it to atoms. Together.
All rigged up.
Perfect! Let's put our plan into action. Stand back! Ready?
Wait!
Whatever for?
There are children in there.
Jacob, my dear. Starrick uses child labor to manufacture goods. We must put an end to his production line.
But not like this.
Why not? I can do whatever I damn well please. Soon, you will understand what it is to be free, as I am. Line 'em up, boys!
No!
What the hell are you doing?
We're not playing games anymore, Roth!
No, we're not.
A gift, sir, from Mr. Roth. You should be warned, Mr. Fry, that when Roth is angry with one, he generally brings suffering to many.
My dearest Jacob, alas, it seems our adventures together have come to a close. Although our time together was brief, it's left a lasting mark. I wish you well in all your future endeavors. Cordially, Maxwell. Post-scriptum. I'm putting on a show this evening. All of London will be there. Enclosed, please find your invitation.
This way to the Alhambra!
Roth.
You don't say.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Alhambra Music Hall. Tonight, we have, for one night only, a very special performance of Corvus the Trickster. While some of the effects may be visceral and highly disturbing, do not be alarmed, my good people. Fear not. This is a purest form of entertainment. Tonight's performance immortalizes and is for the benefit of a young fellow very near and dear to my heart. Any concerns or complaints may be addressed to him. Jacob, dear boy, tonight is for you.
I'll be serving you this evening, gentlemen.
You're still here, love? Last time, I swear, you nearly poisoned us.
Scene 2, stand by!
Let me out! I need to lower the grid for the show!
We have a volunteer. A big round of applause for this brave, brave man.
See what's happening?
That's enough!
Our volunteer is about to die for you, Jacob.
I know one's woman.
It's not what you said in our wedding.
You lucky people are about to witness this gentleman being fired upon at point-blank range. Our performer will hit several targets placed around his head. Exciting, is it not? I hope you have enjoyed your evening so far, ladies and gentlemen. I know I have. Now, before our final act, I would like to toast all you brave people who joined us tonight to celebrate life and death. Go on! Toast them! Your move, Jacob, my dear! Burn! 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 Darling, what a night. The stuff of legends.
Why did you do it? All of it.
What? Snap a baby crow's neck between my thumb and forefinger. Slice to bits the ones you deem innocent. Keep the world in its divine, manic state. For the same reason, I'd do anything. Why not?
You may have not found a piece of Eden, but this material is invaluable. Look. It says the London assassins had found a shroud.
The Shroud of Eden is supposed to heal even the gravest injury. If the assassins had found something like this, surely Father would have known.
There must be something we're missing.
Something only we can see. These look like directions. Are you coming?
Fieldwork is not really my speciality.
We found a clue to a precursor object. Don't you want to follow it?
Put that way, one can hardly refuse. Do you know, I think this map may be taking us to the Kenway mansion.
Kenway? The pirate?
Master assassin and pirate, yes.
How much do you know about the Shroud of Eden?
It's said to heal the sick. Popular myth is that it brings people back from the dead, but the assassin records say that's not true. I've never heard of one being in London, though. Do you really think Edward Kenway could have found one?
He traveled extensively, so it's possible. But if he did, he kept it a closely guarded secret.
But if it's true, what a find it would be.
Indeed. I'm eager to find out myself.
Slow down or you will be punished!
It's surprising that you haven't already searched the Kenway house.
Edward's son, Hatham, joined the Templars. When he died, the house passed on to Hatham's sister.
And in all your time in London, you didn't go and have a look around? Weren't even a little curious?
Truly, I didn't expect to find anything there. We've no way of knowing how many times the buildings changed hands. I presumed Hatham would have had it stripped bare before he left.
But if Miss Thorne thinks the shroud could still be there...
If there's a vault, the Templars haven't found it yet.
So the Templars owned a house with assassin treasures stored in it, and never located them.
We must be better at hiding things than they are.
I think this is it.
I think you're right. Look.
I'll be in the study. I don't want to be interrupted unless you have news of the lost notebook.
That makes getting in a challenge.
You still intend to enter?
If this is a Templar stronghold, it won't get any easier. But don't worry. We'll stay well away from Miss Lucy. Shall we?
What are we looking for?
I'm not quite sure.
Not enormously subtle, is it?
Clearly, Kenway had a strong sense of spectacle.
history of the London assassins. Bolt holes, vaults, a hidden key. This is it.
You say you heard music? There was no opening there before.
It's closing!
Yes, I can see that. Help me block it.
We need to find another way out. An entire vault, filled with assassin history, left behind once again.
We'll just have to reclaim this one later, or find a better cache.
We? I thought you preferred to stay out of field work.
I was thinking more of you and your brother. I shall provide planning assistance from the train.
Jacob's off marauding. There is a vacancy. Should you desire to broaden your horizons?
Oh, well, Evie, Oh, well, Evie, I will think on it.
You do that. Come, let's get above ground.
I've discovered more information on our stolen gold. To my carriage. It's all quite strange. The British Indies Company working with the Templar Order. And for what? Perhaps we will never know.
Atta girl.
The accountant revealed they're hiding a shipment of gold, previously stolen from India, in a carriage at an old Starrick warehouse. We must find this carriage and steal it from them.
And what will you be doing in the meantime?
Why, I'm here to help you, of course. They don't call me the fourth best shot in London for nothing.
You are.
This is it. The gold is here somewhere. Return to me once you've found it, and I'll stay behind and keep an eye out for trouble. Be careful. What they think is theirs, they won't easily part with. Good.
Let's go.
The Templars are not far away, and we must lose them. I'll keep the wolves at bay.
Are you sure?
I think we lost them. Good work.
You were quite the hero out there.
Oh, you're too kind. It was rather exhilarating, if I'm being honest. Now, I've hired a captain to escort the gold overseas. If you would kindly fetch the crate from the back.
You can't get away that easily, thief!
Are you quite all right? You had me frightened.
Nothing to worry about, Your Highness.
I commend you for fighting them off. Really. With you at my side, it will be an almost simple task to send this gold back to where it belongs. Why don't you walk off that last fight, and come back to me when you're ready for the next leg of the journey? There's still work to be done.
So, what's next, Your Greatness?
We must return this gold to its people. My people. I procured us a captain to transport it to its destination. But our next feat will be to get it out of London.
And now it's up to you and me to protect it. Fancy that.
Precisely. Now, if you would be so good as to bring the gold aboard, we can get going. Now, we must escort this boat to the next dock, where we may disembark. And then, this vessel will be clear of enemy waters. We've done some good today. I can feel it.
All part of the job. Let's see if I can take them out without them noticing.
I think that's the last of them. The gold is in safe hands. We did a good job today. May this not be the end of our adventures together.
It would be a shame to part ways now.
We can only move forward from here. Good day. They are stubborn fellows, aren't they? Now, if you would be so kind as to excuse me. I've had quite a bit of excitement today and must think on it. Do come see me again. Henry has an idea of what we'll tackle next. He is waiting for us at Southwark Station. Go ahead. I will join you there. I'm afraid we have done too much. The British Indies Company are trying to capture your train. What a catastrophe.
The BIC must not be very happy with how things are progressing.
You could say that.
But at least that quieted them down. For now.
Perhaps this is not the best time to bring up what I called you here for, but I have another plan.
Go on, then.
It may sound mad, but I propose we steal the Koh-i-Noor diamond.
Doesn't that belong to the Queen?
Her Majesty may wear it, but it doesn't belong to her. It was a trophy, symbolizing the colonization of India, and it deserves to be returned home. It would be an extremely delicate mission, but I know you'd be more than capable of such a feat. I have already procured some information pertaining to the location of the Koh-i-Noor. Come and find me when you've had a moment to think it over.
This is... My God, this is Michel Rouge's vault.
Michael Rourke's vault? It can't be.
You have no idea who that is, do you?
I'm the foggiest.
He was an assassin. Father had one of his books. Legend says he found some fabulous treasure near Bath that drove him mad. He locked it away beneath London, in a vault that could only be opened by a set of special musical boxes.
Special musical boxes? Now who's mad? You don't suppose they've got another suit back there, do you? That one looks a bit tight for me.
And you would look a right tit in it.
Evie.
You should see what's waiting for you at Whitechapel Station. Nigel wants to make up for things, so he got you a gift.
Oi, Mr. Fry, come have a look at this. Ain't she a beauty?
Oh, well done, Nigel.
Yeah, I nicked it off the gang across town, got them all stewed, and then took it when they was asleep. Here, sir, let me show you. It's jumped. Oh, shit. Move! We've got to uncover the carriage!
Nigel, that commission in the Royal Artillery may have to wait.
Have you truly no recollection of the events that landed you in a cell?
I remember what the other victims remember. A silver watch, the sound of a bell, and a sort of shadow.
A glint of silver and a tolling bell. Hey. I must say, you look very tired.
Yes. I am so very, very tired.
Now you're going to do a little job of work for me, aren't you?
Now I'm going to do a little job of work for you.
You've cost me a bit of money, mate. So I think it's only fair that you replenish my coffers with donations from the good people of London. You will steal money for me, won't you?
Yes, I will steal money for you.
Good. Very good. Now, we can't have criminals like you roaming the streets. You will surrender to the police, won't you?
Yes. I will surrender to the police.
Oh, and when you do, you're going to do a silly little dance for them.
I say, you gave me a terrible fright. Muttering about a man named Ezio.
How fascinating.
Enzio Capelli. Not a demon, but a hypnotist.
I love men in uniform. They look so very clean.
And he's not even Italian.
Straight off by a Russian cannonball.
I suspected hypnotism from the very start. You must find the villain.
I'll give you anything you want.
I want you to shut your mouth. Do you know a Dr. John Elliotson?
Never heard of the man.
Did you really think mesmerism would work?
How dare you? I'm a hypnotist.
Time to confess and free the people under your silly spell.
My dear friend, the Ghost Club has an extraordinary case for you. Spiritualist Thaddeus the Amazing has predicted his own death at his next séance. Could you have a look?
We have a visitor. What is happening here?
Help!
Not yet.
Ah!
Someone, light the lamps.
Oh.
He's actually dead.
Nothing but a showman, really. Each week he gave a seance with all his clients present together. So many people makes everything much more dramatic. I attend Lady Ursula at these sessions. She's ailing and needs someone to help her along. I have no particular belief in an afterworld, but if it comforts milady, I see no harm.
I sought him out after the death of Mittens. I was so hoping to hear from my loved one. I'm convinced Thaddeus could have communicated Mittens' wishes to me. I must know to whom Mittens wishes that I should leave my fortune. And now Thaddeus is lost to us. I shall never know. Mittens is my beloved kitty cat. She was run over by a milk wagon several weeks ago. I've been trying desperately to contact my sweet thing ever since. I'm not well, though, and likely haven't long to live myself.
This is so frustrating. I had a simple question, but have had to come back for séance after séance, week after week. Each time Thaddeus divined a partial number from the other side, but never the entire correct number. Today he promised that I would get everything. Thaddeus felt that if I signed some papers, it would demonstrate to my dead father that I had absolute trust in Thaddeus.
He was an incredible psychic. I came to clarify some personal financial matters. I don't understand what happened. He foretold his own death, but I didn't expect it to happen like this.
I have no doubt that his powers were genuine. He was able to tell me of my daily comings and goings, and all manner of details that he couldn't possibly have known. He certainly was going to be able to put me in contact with my sister. I'm so sorry to lose Thaddeus. The oddest part is that he claimed all would be revealed to each of us before his death. I've been coming here to decide whether I should accept a marriage proposal. Thaddeus had been attempting to contact my departed sister so that she could give me advice. Thaddeus was a kind man who sincerely wanted me to make the best choice. Now what am I to do?
Lady Ursula's health is not good at all. And now she's lost her cat, it's almost like she has nothing left to live for. He's been Lady Ursula's butler for years. We have plans to marry. But first, Douglas needs to put together a little nest egg. He says he'll have some money soon. Lady Ursula was planning to leave her fortune to her cat Mittens. Since the cat passed on, she's been going to that spiritualist in hopes that Mittens will tell her what to do with the money.
Her father mentioned this swindler to me. I understand it's because of him that my engagement has been delayed. I know the owner of a local brewery, and I'm convinced his business will flourish. He just needs some financial backing. Now Janice is free to be married at last. I'll invest my dowry in the brewery and make a fortune.
Never trust a man who tells you what you want to hear. He's after something. Taking advantage of my daughter's love for her departed sister. With that charlatan gone, things can get back to normal. My daughter's engagement to Everett Boyd can be announced at last. A girl Janice's age should be married. Everett is a very sensible young man from a good family. He'll be very successful, I'm sure of it. Janice's elder sister was strong-willed. Janice always followed her lead. That's why it's so sad that she asks her advice, even in death. time for Janice to think for herself. I know what's best for her.
Janice is a lovely creature. I would be honored were she to accept my proposal. I do adore her.
My brother has become obsessed with some secret bank account. He inherited almost all of my father's fortune, as well he should as the male heir. But some was locked in a secret account. I think it unlikely that it should be a significant amount. Power of attorney to a psychic? That sounds very unusual indeed. I went along to the seances a couple of times. I thought it was a waste of my brother's time.
That's me. Yeah, some fella come by here every so often. Gives me a silver sixpence if I tell him everything about the folks in that house. Nothing unusual about him. Just a regular fella. I've seen him go into that building over there.
You think someone paid Thaddeus to tell my lady that a cat wanted them to inherit? Well, that would be quite a clever scheme indeed.
My own sister? Paying Thaddeus off? I thought he was a bit too insistent that I sign that paper. Well, Anne is going to get a good talking to, believe you me.
Good Lord, you found the office? I admit it, then. Thaddeus and I traveled the world, bamboozling the gullible and then exposing the swindle. But his death was meant to be a fake. I have no reason to want Thaddeus dead. Quite the contrary.
You believe that Everett paid Thaddeus to manipulate me? It cannot be true. Thaddeus knew all of my comings and goings. He genuinely could communicate with the world beyond.
I simply do not believe it. And if you're implying that my butler was paying Thaddeus, I must ask you, why would a great psychic do the bidding of a common butler?
He was going to reveal my plot. He paid the price for betraying a fellow crook.
This Thaddeus fellow was rather too clever by half. But you pieced it all together very cleverly.
Up to the click
Mr.
with
Raymond
you.
was particularly interested in this one. He admired the duplicity of Thaddeus.
Here's an especially exciting one. Perfect for a penny dreadful.
A famous professor dies twice.
That's once more than usual. Twice as many sales. My name will soon be known across the nation.
It's so very awful. The professor died of an heart attack just days ago. Then tonight, I hear pounding at the door. I open it to find him bleeding and in pain. He tried to say something, then collapsed dead. Again. He kept repeating, Barkesso, Barkesso, over and over. What does it mean?
It's unthinkable. Such a great man. We were still in mourning from the burial. He was buried yesterday in the family plot.
He got that a few days ago. Inside was a statue. I thought it was a marvel, but he told me it was quite common. I don't know who sent it. Spider? Let's get that out of here. Emmett is definitely afraid of spiders.
My father was an eminent anthropologist and something
Right,
of an
I'll
explorer.
kick your ass.
He made his name by investigating the practices of a small village in the Congo. His colleagues at the university often sent him trinkets from abroad.
I'll throw you out if I have to!
This is no time to talk about the will. It is true that my father and my fiancée didn't get on, but I'm confident that once he got to know her as a daughter-in-law, they would have become friends.
The anthropological sciences have lost a great mind. He revolutionized the field. It is my fond hope that I may inherit his mantle. Which one is that? Sorry, difficult to read. I've lost my spectacles somewhere. I recently traveled to Africa in order to continue studies on the indigenous tribe Professor Bing discovered some time ago.
An eminent colleague. He wrote prolifically. Probably no one will ever amass the amount of knowledge he acquired. I'm most vexed about that. A rare specimen of the sort I've been studying for years. It escaped a few days ago, no doubt due to that scatterbrained assistant Virginia. My thesis subject. My South American colleagues tell me that this particular arachnid is only found in the Bolivian Andes. Fascinating subject.
A lovely man, and quite wealthy. I only wish he had lived to bless my alliance with his son. I hoped you wouldn't find that. I'm afraid several of the faculty purchase cadavers for research purposes. It's a fact of university life. I'm sorry to hear about that. Do you know whether that change was actually made?
He showed up again. First time that's happened in 35 years of grave digging. Body snatching? That's an insult. I'd be in the slammer quick as that if I got caught. So I sell a body or two on the side. A man's got to eat, ain't he? I broke the lock and left him on a barrow just behind his tomb. It was dark, couldn't really see. But some fella come by and carted the old professor off. It's muddy back there. You can likely still see the tracks. I saw the son lock the tomb myself. It's plain that 7 guineas is a lot for a bloke like me. I'm careful with me pennies and save for a rainy day.
Yes, that's mine. I misplaced a similar one, possibly at the funeral. I was so upset.
I required his knowledge in order to become the greatest anthropologist in the British Empire, and his beloved tribe of savages provided the method.
That Professor Silas was particularly cunning and gruesome. Mr. Raymond will be thrilled. Think of that. Crushed by a crate. The most hated man in London.
Can you imagine achieving such a title? One day my brilliance will bring me similar recognition.
Mr. Raymond, what are you talking about?
It's of no consequence. What's important is that this man was hated by many. But who delivered the fatal blow?
I know the man. He's hated by everyone. Surprisingly, it's not clear what killed him. I find multiple wounds. No need to send many people to jail for killing such a terrible man. What say you only arrest the single person who actually caused his death? He appears to have been stabbed with a perforating weapon, perhaps a spike of some kind. There would be bleeding and it would affect motor control right away, but death wouldn't come for another 6 minutes. I suspect that there is at least one deadly toxin in his system.
The man's a right bastard. I hope he's smouldering in hell. Well, I'm not a crane operator. I wouldn't know how to work that. My best chum is maimed for life, and Ashton didn't care a fig. He deserved what happened. Beyond that, I'm mum.
He owned this site and paid us. We all hated him because he looked for any excuse to cheat us out of our wages. I didn't hate him any more or less than my mates. That's around the time I'm given a few minutes to eat something. About then, I would have been buying myself an apple at the stand down the street. It's difficult to work properly. You'd have to know what you're doing to drop it at just the right moment. Eddie? Yeah, I taught him how to work the crane a few days ago.
He's my husband. Each day I bring him the household expenses just after he eats his apple. I also brought him his invitation to the knighthood ceremony. The one with the special scepter. Of course, he wasn't going to take me along. I often tie up my hair around a knitting needle. What business is it of yours?
He stopped by here every day at the exact same time. He'd buy an apple and try to cheat me out of tuppence. But then most folks do that. Yeah, that sounds right. Came by for an apple. He was here when we heard the crate hit the ground.
They wouldn't behave like that.
He said that he felt like he was Atlas, asked to hold up the whole world. He's mad.
Made you do that? Ashton stops in front of this pub every afternoon to check on business rumours. Something of a bastard, Ashton. Told me he had a bit of jam on the side, if you know what I mean. Wife didn't know about it. Well, the bit of jam wants out, but he won't let her. That's the sort of fellow we're speaking of. That was Ashton's doing. The man had it in for me. He paid workers to wreck my machines. Cost me a fortune. As long as he was around, I'd never prosper. As a matter of fact, I do carry a revolver at all times. It can be a dangerous neighborhood for a wealthy fella such as myself. This proves nothing.
He's been coming to me for years. He arrives precisely at 1 o'clock and leaves 2 minutes later. He takes a bluish medication every day and prefers that I administer it. Mary is a trusted assistant. As far as I know, she's completely above board. Today, she swept the shop and prepared some medications. She also fetched herself an apple from the apple stand. This really is none of your business. He came to me for his blue medication. I gave him blue medication.
I see him here every day. He can be unpleasant, but I don't really know him. Girl who works at the pharmacy? Yeah, she slipped me an extra threepence. She had a special apple, just for Mr. Ashton. I gave him that one when he come by. Mr. Ashton did look strange-like. Eyes all yellowish. And then he turned pale after he bit into the apple. Almost green, really. Quite right. I asked the apple seller to give him a special apple. Is that a crime? He was a horrid man. That's all I have to say.
Very well. I found out about his dalliance with that girl from the pharmacy. It's not the first. Divorce is all but impossible given his influence with the clergy. I'll be the toast of the town.
A very unpleasant fellow. But what was that business about a knighthood ceremony?
Up to the clink with you!
In any case, Mr. Raymond will have a story for Perlock Publishing.